How are we going to protect ourselves from that? And how are we going to stop ourselves from coming out from that protection to be under those curses? Don't think that it is so easy just to say, Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and then it's just going to be gone. Shaitan may be gone, but he has trained the ego very good. The ego can take over. Shaitan can be gone, but the ego is still there, and the ego is completely trained by Shaitan, and he can just make a fitna from the inside. And like so many people, in the way of religion, they're doing so many wrong things because they've been completely fooled by the nafs, by the ego. Now, what it means to be a doorkeeper to our heart, what it means not to let the wrong things to enter into our hearts. It's pretty easy. Especially Muslims in this country. It doesn't matter if they are approving zikr, or they think zikr is bid'at, or mawlud is bid'at, or this or that. Doesn't matter, but everyone agrees everyone has to eat halal. Correct? Wahhabi, Salafi, doesn't matter. Sufi say everyone must eat halal. And more than that, new style, which is a good new style, eating halal organic. Not just halal, but organic. Anyway, halal is supposed to be organic, but so many halal things in reality is not halal. So you stand guard to see what enters to your mouth, correct? You will see this food, this food, this food, this food in front of you. Someone may give it to you, you may buy it, then you're going to check it. Sometimes you feel so hungry, there is a desire for it coming from inside, and you want to grab it, but something is checking it. Say, is this halal? Is it not halal? These days, the Muslims, they're saying to other Muslims, going to their own houses, they're going to ask their host, brother, is this halal or not? The worst kind of manners the Muslims have. Pulling the curses of Allah. So whatever enters your mouth, the food or the drink, whether it is from your own self that you desire to have it, you only wanting halal things, that's going to stop it, that's going to filter it, that is going to pass through some security now. Or someone giving it to you, you're not just going to take it and to put it in. Of course, we have some brothers, they don't care. Halal, haram, they just eat. Although it's forbidden, they just eat. They say, oh, really? So, we know this, and we all are doing this in our lives, to be very careful with what goes into our mouths, correct? Why we are not being careful to what is entering to our hearts? And who is teaching that these days? Imams, in masjids, alims, the ulamas, they're standing up to say, be careful what enters to your heart. Or are they busy with some other things? But the heart, it is the throne of Allah. The throne of Allah, that only Allah is supposed to be there. So how are you going to get rid now of the wrong things from your heart? Before, so many times, before we get rid of it, we must know what it is, how it enters. Because so many times also, so many Muslims are not understanding that, what? There is a hidden shirk inside of me. Why are you saying that? I'm saying shahada. Already there is a problem there, because the arrogance is already there. To say that, what, me? How can you say I'm like that? I'm not like that. I'm a good one. I'm a holy one. Now, If you want to eat something that is forbidden, where is it coming from? It's coming from you. First, it is your desire. Now, whether that desire is just coming from inside of you or it's there inside of you, because everything that is forbidden is desired by who? By the ego. Everything that is forbidden is desired only by the ego, not by the spirit. That we have to know. It is not the spirit, it is the ego that desires it. So, you're looking and you're seeing there is something there and it is forbidden and you know it. Now that is the time where you're going to use your faith. That is the time you're going to use your free will, the will that Allah has given you, to say that I have to stop this. I cannot eat this. Somebody may come and offer it to you. Somebody may come to offer you the dunya. The dunya is supposed to be our what? Our enemy, correct? Then let me ask you, how many of you or me, when the dunya is offered to us, we're looking at it as if the enemy is offering us something? Or we're going to jump up and down to say that, oh wow, I have so much. I'm given so much. How many of us are going to look to say, this is a trick, this is a trap? So now, the forbidden things, the wrong things, it is already inside of us, the desire for it, and that is coming from the ego. Now, Tariqat is teaching how to use the will of the spirit, and the spirit's will is according to the will of Allah. The will of the ego is opposite to the will of Allah. That everything that is forbidden is coming from the will of the ego, and for us to fight that. Understand? So yes, it begins not just a thought, it begins with a will. Because thought, sometimes it takes a long time. But the will comes just like that. Desire comes just like that. So now we have to understand, where is that desire from? If we sit down, we try to understand, why am I behaving like this? Why do I desire it? You sit down and you think and you enter into what? Meditation. You look at yourself and you enter into meditation. You ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I continually doing this? You ask and you come to the point. Maybe you say, because I'm weak. I'm a dirty creature and I'm weak and I'm asking for help. Once you start doing that, you are not declaring your greatness. You're not declaring stubbornness. You're not saying that everyone else is at fault and not me. You blame yourself. That is the first step to help that is going to come. There is a first step to the shafa'at that is going to come. There is a first step that the madad is going to come to help you to clean yourself very easily. From that, and for that change to happen in a sincere way, is not going to be overnight. It's going to take some time. Everything that is bad that you're going to take out, it has to be replaced with something that is good. So yes, the good deeds that is happening, it comes from a good intention. Correct? And in Islam, intention is more important. Just to make a good intention, we will get the blessings and the rewards. Just making an intention. Now, who is stressing this to make a good intention? Who is teaching us this? Not to have a good intention to say, I intend to work harder so I can get more money to give my family more things. So now it is showing what is important to you. What is your intention now? And it's not even my intention is to worship more so I can go to higher paradises. What is your intention now? If your intention now is to stand up for haqq, you're not looking at the rewards, you're not looking at the blessings, you're looking at the work. To stand up for haqq, there is a much higher, a more noble reason. The Sahabe Kiram, They were not being with the Prophet for 23 years, sacrificing everything. Because they say, oh, I'm doing this to get to higher paradises. I'm just using the Prophet ﷺ, to get to higher paradises. No, they were doing it because of what? Because of love. Now that love, the muhabbat, that ashq, that is a reward in itself. You're not looking for other things behind it. It is to be with the one that you love. It is not to get something from that one. It is not for that one to give you anything. It is to be with that one. To be with the Salihin. This is an order to be with Allah. This is also an order. So now, yes, it starts with that. Now, welcome to the Jihadul Akbar, where you do something wrong. Now you're going to trace back why I did that. I did that. I was watching myself very carefully, but at that moment I didn't watch myself. And it went into auto mode, automatic. But that automatic is a wrong thing. Why? For example, I see something, I don't like it, something happened to me, I don't like it, immediately I get upset, I get angry. Now you can say, why I'm getting angry? Why? This is not right, this person is doing this and this and this to me. Then you're going to dig further inside. You're not going to point fingers to others, you're going to point fingers to yourself, and you're going to say, what about me? What have I done to other people? I'm blameless? No, I'm not. I've done so many other things to other people, to my Lord, to my Prophet. So this is happening to me. Shame now is going to kick in, and the shame is going to say, that's enough. Don't complain, you deserve it. They are watching. When you say, yeah, I deserve it, astaghfirullah. They are watching, then that pain, instead of being 100%, they may remove everything. So you don't feel that pain, you don't feel that anger, you don't feel that jealousy, you don't feel that envy. This is a way of dealing with this too. So now you are going to be very careful. You're going to watch yourself. You're going to watch yourself when you work. You're going to watch yourself when you worship. You're going to watch yourself when you're making a zikr. You're going to say, okay, I'm praying, Allahu Akbar. Suddenly you think about something, you're going to pull yourself back. Then when you have the free time, which is why tafakkur is very important. To have the free time as a believer is very important. Not to be a slave to this dunya. Then sit down. This happened. Why was I like that? Why was I in ghaflat? So now you go deeper and deeper and you look at the roots itself and you try to pull it out. Do you understand? And you're going to watch things that enter into your heart. You're going to watch things that bubble up from inside of you, and you're going to watch things that others are going to put inside of you. Do you understand? Just like the food. From inside, things that bubble inside of you, when you're sitting down by yourself, you're worshipping, you're reading the Quran, you are praying, you're doing other things. Instead of having khushu, concentration, and meditation at that time, you start thinking about nonsense things. Then you pull yourself back and say, why? Astaghfirullah. You say, Astaghfirullah. Why am I doing this? Stop this. Allah is watching. Stop this. Allah is watching. You understand? You train yourself like that. If you do it for 40 days, you're being hard on yourself, definitely it's going to be very easy for you after that, because you are training yourself. Just like before you enter into a situation like this, you speak whenever you want to speak, whatever you want to speak. But when you come to a situation like this now, you stop yourself from speaking. You're catching yourself. You want to speak and you catch yourself. You're putting what? Discipline. Now. And what happens when you put yourself that discipline? Now, your senses, your intelligence is going to expand. You will start observing. You're not just reacting, you're observing. Because the one who observes himself It's very easy for him that time, or her that time, to observe what is happening in his surroundings, in this dunya, in the paradises. Because Allah is continuously sending signs of that. And this is the way to read. Then when you're working, concentrating, at least to say, Allah is watching me, work. And you are working. The work is concerned with the dunya. It doesn't matter. Do a good job. What is that? The work that you're doing now, is it for the sake of Allah and His Prophet? ﷺ. Be sincere now. If you're working and it's just for the sake of your family, you cannot really say. Yes, you want to earn a halal living, yes, but Sahaba Kiram could also say, well, why we have to work for the Prophet ﷺ now? Just like Ibn Salama. We can just pull ourselves back. We got the shahadat, we got the faith, we got everything. Now it's time for us to take care of our families. But they did not behave like that. Everything now they are putting into the middle to say, Ya Rasulullah, this is yours. So now when you're working and you're concentrating, you're working for the sake of Allah and His Prophet, now you concentrate on the work that you're doing to make sure that it is 100% correctly done. The work that you're doing, you're going to say, if Shaykh Effendi is watching, is right next to me, am I going to do this? Am I going to work like this? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? More you're putting yourself to that connection, to that rabita, when you're doing your work, and when you're doing your worship, and when you're just relaxing also with your family. You're putting that rabita, then you will know that time an evil thought entering into your heart, and you can see it from 1 mile away, 10 miles away, 100 miles away. Now you make the decision. Are you going to open the door? Or are you going to turn your face? Or are you going to retreat? Before, you don't know. It's just coming and you're just reacting. Because you don't know where it's coming from, how it's coming. It's just coming and you're just caught up unawares. But once you start working, once you start understanding, once you start analyzing your anger or your jealousy, once you start analyzing all those wrong characteristics and say, it's because of this word, and this word makes me to behave like this, I behaved like this before, and I remember the first time I did it, why I did it, you went through all of that, now shaitan cannot come through the same way. You're going to see it. It may come through another way, then you have to be prepared for that. It may come through another way, you have to be prepared for that. But you're going to see it from 1 mile away. Now you're going to make the decision whether you want it or not. You understand? Yes. It is like that. So many times, not just evilish actions, thoughts. We are responsible. It's coming out from us. Shaitan's duty is to put waswasa. Why we have to listen? The one who is standing guard there is not even letting shaitan to enter into the heart. To say this is coming from shaitan, I must kick it up. I must push it away. I'm going to find a way. It's not just by saying Allah, 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 astaghfirullah, salawat. No. Because if you're doing that in ghaflat, it's not going to help too. They're telling you, giving you a weapon, and telling you how to use this weapon. But then you're in the field, you saw the enemy coming, and you're in ghaflat, and you drop the weapon and you break it. What good is it? You're in ghaflat and you panic and you don't know how to use it. You're in ghaflat and you're in panic and you start shooting yourself. Yes, it happens. It happens in the way of spirituality too. Of course, new style, people saying, oh no, just ask madad from your sheikh, and your sheikh is just going to do everything for you. Since when Jihadul Akbar becomes so cheap like that? Which Sahabe Kiram when they are faced with huge challenges ahead of them. And they're just so easy, they just escape like that, just by asking for help. Yes, we must ask for help, but that help is coming with a price. That help cannot be tainted. That cry for madad cannot be poisoned with our ego. If we are submitting, then we don't have to say madad. They are going to send us madad. But yes, it takes some work. It takes some work to look and to see. First you realize, then after that you start doing things. You start stopping from doing things. We will pass through so many stages. But that is very important for us to go through if we are in this way. Inshallah. That's why to have a simple life is very important in this way. More that you are outside, more you are exposing yourself, more you are looking at things, more the shaitan is just going to put his arrows, poison arrows inside of you. Do you know how to look and to turn that poison into what's the opposite of poison? You turn the poison to become a what? Antidote. Yeah, see, I have so many doctors around. It becomes an antidote. You look and you see and you understand. That time you may even give to others. Understand? Inshallah. It's not so easy. Which is why sohbat is so important. Because in the sohbat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making it very easy. Person is there speaking your language, saying things according to your level. And if you cannot have khushu at that time of sohbat, if you cannot concentrate and listen and open up all your antennas, then it's impossible that time to receive anything else that is coming from Allah or His Prophet or the angels. You understand? That time you may read different things. So many people in the sohbat, their mind is going into so much hayal and so much imagination and illusion and delusion. So the training begins here. Dini nasihat. Our religion is advice. Shah Naqshbandi is saying only the prophets to give advice. We give sohbat. Our Shaykh gives sohbat. We are remembering his words. ومن الله توفيق الفاتحة. آمين.